Do you have ugly ass armor? Do your friends make fun of you because you have 0 drip? Well, I got just the thing for you.
Horn coins for the brave. Monster hunting we all crave. Horn coins, forge your gear. Power up and face your fear. In the wild or near the hearth, horn coins light up the path.
Horn coins! Say it with me. Horn coins! Welcome back, hunters. I have breached the wall of ignorance and I now know what horn coins are, for I have entered the cusp of G rank in Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. This is the first time joining. It's a really weird time to join this journey. You should go back to Journal 1 before you go back to watch this one. If you are new, I have been journeying for now 10 journals, many streams, 30 exactly, of which I'm trying to become an Omni Hunter and prove myself that I can use every weapon efficiently in Monster Hunter by slaying bloodbath diablos. And spoiler alert, I have now slain my first diablos. It's not a bloodbath, but I've mostly been working and being sick in bed, so I haven't been able to stream too much, but I have made some progress. I believe I had just finished the village rank of Village Valstrax, therefore ending my high rank village run. And so the next thing was really to finish off hub high rank so I can unlock G rank and get ready to fight all the G rank goodness and get through all of G1, G2, G3, G4 so I can unlock Bloodbath Diablos. I really hope the editor makes that look cooler than me just moving here on my desk. So the first thing that was needed outside of clearing the key quests is of course to upgrade my armor so I'm less squishy, and I also need better weapons so I can do more damage. So the first thing I needed was realize because I have Rathalos armor sets for both my gunner and my melee builds, I need hyper Rathalos parts because all of my armor is all locked to hyper parts. But hyper Rathalos wasn't available to me because first you have to fight a whole bunch of hyper monsters until you get the quest to unlock hyper Rathalos. So off I went with my multiplayer buddies, and we have slayed many hyper monsters, which honestly is just normal monsters that you don't get exhausted, that hurt you more if the hyper part hits you. So it's just a dialed up, painful monster, really. There's not much more to say about the fight. You just don't have as much room to be sloppy. So another thing I learned while playing multiplayer, in a few journals ago, I mentioned how I had gone much better with longsword in adept mode, and I actually understood how to build up my spirit gauge, and I'm like, okay, I can play this weapon now. So I brought it into multiplayer. I was like, all right, I just got to adept. And the monster was hunting my friends over there. I'm like, oh, come back here. I'm going to adept. And he goes over there. And what I've learned is adept longsword, or probably adept anything, absolutely sucks in multiplayer because a lot of weapons hide some of their best abilities behind the dodge. And if you cannot dodge a monster, you cannot unlock said ability. So it was very hard for me to charge up my longsword in multiplayer. So I switched over to Valor to continue to grind, which worked out way better. Because you don't need to spirit charge, you don't need to dodge the monster and all of that. So off I went, unlocked Hyper Rathalos, grinded a bunch of skills off that boy, and I got to unlock my armor significantly. I can't tell you exactly how much defense I got. Probably somewhere between 50 to 100 more defense, which that's pretty noticeable when your armor is like 400 defense or something. I'm just spewing numbers, but it was significant. So after that, I thought I would try, I needed Astalos parts. And I was like, well, you know what? I've been playing multiplayer so much. Let's try going in with a weapon and soloing a hyper. And since I need Astalos parts, let's do a hyper Astalos. It didn't go so well. I triple carded to hyper Rathalos, because those parts hurt a lot. He one-shotted me. I can't really say he one-shotted me because I think I was at half health when he one-shotted me, but it was an intense fight. It's wild when they don't like actually get tired, and I was struggling. I went pretty long against him, but in the end, he got me good. I thought I was gonna win that fight. After that, this stream was just like pain, because right after that fight, my viewers spun the Wheel of Pain, which I am really regretting putting in this entire pledge. I really shouldn't have done that. And I had to go in with multiplayer, do a naked fight against Gammoth and Astalos, which I thought was an arena fight one after the other, but no, it's both at the same time. So yeah, we didn't last very long there. Between Gammoth sniping us, and I think Gammoth, that was the main attack. Gammoth sniped 2 of us, and the third one probably carded to Astalos, just ramming through everything. So not fun, big time waster. That prevents me from progressing and completing this pledge. But after that, after grinding all of that, doing the key quest, I finally unlocked the high rank boss, hub boss, which is Nakarkos. And this one I have been really curious about, because the last time I talked about Nakarkos on this channel, all of you were like, he doesn't know, ho ho ho, he thinks it's a bad fight. Like, you guys are the worst crew for keeping secrets. I was like looking through the comments with one eye open, and my mods are like, don't read the comments, it's just spoiler territory. Honestly, nothing was spoiled. All I knew was Nakarkos had a gimmick or something, so my imagination went wild, and I was like, okay, he probably evolves into something. So I was like going into it innocently, and I'm like, okay, what is this big like 180 gonna be on Nakarkos? Sorry folks, I think you hyped it up too much, because I again was disappointed. We went from a slow double-headed monster that like skulks around bones to the same thing with a little bit more upbeat music and this like, I don't even know how to describe this mouth. It reminds me of the brain bug from Starship Troopers, and you have to like go and face it down in its mouth and attack your weapon in there, and it's just gross. There's teeth to this hole that is a mouth, there's slimy stuff, and more importantly, there's a massive laser that comes out of there. So you're literally playing chicken with this Nakarkos and hoping that you can get some damage in before the laser comes out. The disappointment is up to my expectation. Compared to my expectation, I was disappointed with Nakarkos. But it was still a pretty interesting fight in the sense that I've never had to fight a thing like this before. Once I understood the mechanic that, okay, first, if he's like shining blue or something, you have to attack the heads, and then eventually he will come. This is in phase 2, by the way. Phase 1, you just hit the 2 wiggly heads. Phase 2, when he's blue, you hit the 2 wiggly heads. When he turns red, you hit him in the kisser. That mechanic I enjoyed, because it was so stressful to get inside of him. And just like, okay, so the first thing, I did this hunt twice, because the first time I timed out. Spoilers, it took me 45-50 minutes. I timed out. It was embarrassing. I went in with a hunting horn. It was decent hunting horn, but it wasn't leveled up enough, and I definitely don't know how to use a hunting horn efficiently enough for this fight. I was not prepared for it, but I wanted to go see what Nakarkos high rank was all about. I went in there and I was like, doot, but I wasn't dooting fast enough, and so I lost. But I made it to, I think, what is the 3rd phase, where he shoots 2 lasers in succession, showing he is really low in HP. But unfortunately, I timed out. So that didn't go so well. I decided, okay, I'm going to keep this aside, and I'm going to come back and destroy this monster using my switch axe or my charge blade. Well, as I was rotating into Gunlance, we had a super Nakarkos fan in the chat who also loved Gunlances, and he's like, I want to see you take on my favorite monster with my favorite weapon. Here's some gift subs, go do it. So I mean, I can't say no to that. And so off I went with Gunlance, one of the weapons I am the worst at in this game. And I'm like, okay, I think I can do more damage with this than Hunting Horn. I really did believe that. And I went in and I did. I beat the Nakarkos with a Gunlance, and it was such a good experience. And again, this, I just want to highlight, this is some of the best moments of these pledges. It's the fact that we don't know. I would have never have thought I would have fought a monster I didn't know with a weapon that I am arguably the least good with. But it happened because all these things lined up. And because of that, I got to have a memory unlock and a special moment with this weapon that I think everybody thinks is trash, except Rurikon, which I don't understand now, because I associated Gunlance with Rurikon, and I associated Rurikon as a good YouTuber, and so therefore I was like, okay, the Gunlance must be a good weapon. But what I have learned in my travels as a hunter is the Gunlance is seen as the worst of all the weapons in general. I think it's the one that people are like, this is the worst weapon in an endgame. And so I was like, is Rurikon just being a troll and choosing this weapon to piss everyone else off? Or is he just a bad YouTuber? We don't need to answer that question, but it really made me wonder. So anyways, I went in with the Gunlance, and it just works so much better with this. Like, poke the head. Oh, and when I got into the mouth part, and you can just like slam and shell into the mouth, and I had double A flare skill equip, so that one's so cool, because like you literally punch with your Gunlance, and it goes like boom, and then you recharge it and it goes boom, and it just explodes everywhere. It was the best thing. And then when you actually knock him out, he falls flat on his face, and there's like 3 arrows that are like, yo, get on top of the shell, you can go hit some squishies. And so I went up on the shell, and then there was like a little rainbow thing I learned that I could hit. Eventually I learned I could use my bombs there, and I was doing more damage there. And I learned all these small gimmicks that people were telling me about, like you can actually interrupt or slow down the charging of the laser by throwing trank bombs into his mouth, which that was cool. I didn't know that. And overall, just the whole thing, like the laser, timing the laser was probably the scariest thing. Like, do I keep doing damage in the mouth or do I step away because he's about to laser? That was intense. So after that was done, I finally unlocked the final area of Monster Hunter GU, which is the G rank ship, aka the G rank hub, with some of the best music in this game. There's like a jukebox where you can pick songs, and there's at first there's like 4 songs that rotate through, and the first song that plays, instant classic to me. Like I loved it. There's like a little chorus piece in it, a little melody that goes like dun, 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 dun. I'm terrible with music, but I hope you can hear what I'm trying to convey. I was like, why does that sound so familiar? And I really, like, it was bugging me like crazy. I'm like, I know this melody. What's it from? And thankfully, there was someone in chat who also recognized it. They're like, that's the Final Fantasy 13 battle theme. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? I go on YouTube, I got the clip, and everyone's like, oh my goodness. For the first time, Jason's right. So I hope the editor can play 2 songs so you guys can actually hear the difference. The little clip from Monster Hunter and the little clip from FF13. It's the same melody. So that was cool. We also got introduced to Horn Coins. Horn Coins, which, I mean, what a fun segment, but what a weird thing. So this entire mechanic of Horn Coins is there to transmog, aka like layered armor, and I can appreciate how much layered armor has evolved, because now it's just layered armor. There's none of this like in-game description for how does it actually happen. And I do feel in GU there's more like in-game lore to explain how can you wear one armor that has the skill of another. Oh, it's through transmog. By trading these Horn Coins, you can transmog the skills into this armor set. The reality is, because of the nature of this pledge, I'm pretty much in and out. So once I get through all my bloodbath diablos, I don't care how I look. I could look like a clown. So I will probably not spend much time, if any, investing in how cool I look. If there was no Monster Hunter Wilds, Worlds, Rise, and all that stuff that had come out, sure, I would totally dabble with customizing my armor look. But really, I just gotta slay that Bloodbath Diablos, and then we're gonna go style in Wilds. Another thing that happened, so before you can actually take on G-rank quests, you are faced with a gatekeeper, which is appropriate, Diablos, the first Diablos in the game that I got to fight. He will not let me go take on his granddaddy Bloodbath until I fight him. And so I'm like, perfect. In my rotation, I had my Switch Axe up next, the Brachydios Switch Axe. Like, oh, I love the poeticness of this. So let's go in back in the sands with my Switch Axe, just like the song says. If you guys remember my original GU song, rising up back in the sands, got something, got his classy in his Switch Axe. I forget my own lyrics. Got to go in there, but before I did that, I was like, I think I'm not understanding the Switch Axe moveset playstyle properly in old gen because I don't like it. I'll be honest with you guys, I just don't like Switch Axe in old world. So I went to my old mentor, Gaijin Hunter, who, by the way, I'm going to be meeting in the real world soon. And I listened, and he taught me the ways of Demon Riot and all of these other skills I'd completely ignored because I did not properly realize and understand that the ability of Switch Axe is to be aggressive and to, in his words, to stick to the monster like fly on poop. And I think I naturally did this in World because I am an aggressive mindset in some ways. Like I just want to get through the game. I want to get through things, not because I want to rush through it. It's just like, I got all these things I want to try. I gotta get this done. But I've been more hesitant to be like that aggressive in the old world. And so anyways, I've learned about Demon Riot, which is freaking awesome. It basically charges up your sword mode for the Switch Axe. So when you have an opening to slash the monster a lot with your sword, you want to unleash Demon Riot. Now, unfortunately, I never unlocked Demon Riot 2 and 3, so I only have Demon Riot 1. I'll have to work to unlock that. So anyways, now it's all about fighting the monster, getting the opening, you unleash it, and it's such a cool animation. Like your Switch Axe just like, and then it just like explodes, and then it's just like charging with energy that you can just like, it freaking turns into like some hyped up anime like character of its own, and then you can like just go JoJo to town on the monster. So I did that with Diablos. I think he may have carded me once if I remember. No, he did not card me. Anyways, and I beat him. It was like a 25-minute fight. It was a good fight. It was hard. The Switch Axe is definitely not up to endgame high rank. It was pretty under-leveled as a lot of my weapons are. So I'm going to hesitate going much further into G rank because I really do need to upgrade these weapons. But I will be away for a little while, so expect a pretty long delay until the next journal. I'll be back around the holiday season, so probably a month before I can make more progress on this game. And I will see you in G rank. Until then, take care of your horn coins and keep it classy.